purpose, right? Why is it so important for teams, and how can you create one? And I'm sure you're curious, and I think a lot of teams, again, spend so much time just trying to do the work that they're there to do, and that you don't step back and just think about purpose and in a very good way. So let me just explain this a little bit more. In 1963, President Kennedy put a mission out for America, which was to send a man to the moon by the end of the decade. And that was their great mission as a country, as a team. We're going to put a man on the moon. It's a really clear, emotionally connected thing. That dream of exploration into the galaxy. If you ever watched the speech that he gave, it's really inspirational about how he put this idea out to the people of America. And this was a difficult, tricky thing to achieve. Can you imagine? When computers were in their infancy, trying to put a man on the moon? My goodness! And after a few years, journalists went to NASA and was interviewing a few people, and he asked one, what do you do here, and what's your job? And he spoke to one of the cleaners in the corridor who was cleaning, he was mopping the floor. And he said, "Oh, what's your job here?" Expecting the guy to say, "Oh, I'm a cleaner, I clean the floors." And the guy said, "No, you know what I'm doing? I'm putting a man on the moon." And my point is, sorry about the noise, the other computer keeps going off. The point is that he doesn't see his job as just cleaning floors, right? He is connected with that overarching purpose of the whole organization, NASA, with hundreds of thousands of people. And even the lowliest little cleaner was still putting a man on the moon. How do you get that into your team, to see that kind of great purpose? Now, Margaret Heffernan, who's a CEO, she's a coach of CEOs, she's an author, works with a lot of team leaders on how to do this kind of thing. And she's written many different books around teams and leadership. And I love this quote from an interview she gave on the radio, which is when CEOs ask her, I'm going to go back a second. When CEOs ask her, she asks CEOs, "What's the bottom line here? What are you trying to do?" And they say, "Well, we're trying to make $20 million." And she's like, "Really? Why a revenue target?" And she says, "What on earth makes you think that everyone is really going to give it their all to hit a revenue target? You have to talk to something much deeper inside people than that. You have to talk to people about something that makes a difference to them every day. And every day is important. If you want them to bring their best and do their best and feel that you've given them the opportunity to do the best work that they've ever done." And I think this is truly powerful. Don't focus on just, revenue targets, share price, all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's important. That's ultimately what you're there to do, whatever that measure is. But you've got to touch their heart. You've got to give people, because you know what, the only team you don't choose, you don't volunteer to join, is your family. Every other team, unless you do military service, every other team, you choose to be there. And you've got to speak to that choice in people's minds and in their hearts. If they're on the team, they're making a choice either to be engaged, to do the best work they've ever done, or not, right? And so there may be people who are not interested. How do you engage them? Talk to them about purpose. Find a way that they're going to be inspired to come to work and to choose to do the best work that they've ever done. It's really, really valuable, especially at the moment. So if you may be familiar with Simon Sinek's Golden Circle, this is another great way of thinking about it. A lot of organizations know what they do. We make computers, or we sell cars, or whatever it is, but they don't really think a lot about the how, and then more importantly, the why. Why are we doing this? And it's not just taking people's money. What's the purpose? What really connects me to that? And this is a guy called Adam Leipzig. He was a Disney executive, very successful man, long career, and the peak of his profession. And he does a really good 6-minute TED talk about purpose. And he went back to, I think, Harvard or Yale or wherever he'd been to university, like 25-year reunion. And he was walking around catching up with old friends, and what have you been up to for 25 years? And if you've ever done that, it's really interesting to find out what people are up to. And he noticed that some of them were happy and some of them were not so happy, and he kind of tried to work out, they were all successful, they had all reached the peak of their professions, but why are some of them just seem to be so much happier than others? And he investigated, and he worked out that they knew what they were doing and why they were doing it. He has 5 questions for your individual purpose, but this is a thing you can do with your teams, is to have this conversation and try to identify these things. There are 3 things I want you to think about. Now, one is, who are the people that benefit from your work? Who are the actual people? And it could be people several steps away. It could be you work in a factory and the item that you made is sold to a different country, to a shop. You never see the impact. So who are the people that benefit from the work that you do? And you know what? We're human, right? And we like to help other people. We feel satisfied. We feel a deep sense of satisfaction when we know that we are having a nice positive impact on other people's lives. Only the very, on the scale of socio or psychopathy would people not be engaged in that, right? Most, everyone in the workforce, they're going to connect with that concept of helping other people. So you've got to find that way of how are you helping other people? What is the impact that you're making? And how do those people benefit or change as a result of the work that you do? The more you can concentrate on this, you can identify these questions, and clearly craft maybe a really punchy purpose statement. This is what we do. We impact these people. This is how they change as a result of the work that we do. That's really important. And, live it every single day. Build it into your 3 R's, your rhythm, routine, and rituals as a team, to consciously bring that awareness of the good that you're doing in the world to everyone on the team, no matter how remotely that they are from the actual impact moments. Collect them, get people out there, getting interviews with customers, recordings, collect feedback and share it, and make sure everyone, right the way down to the driver or the guy who, is the lowest of the low, make sure they really, really connect with it. So purpose is a really, really important thing. And this quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood and assign them tasks and bang this nail into this plank. Teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. This is the stuff which hits you right here in the chest. It pulls on your heartstrings about this is why we are here doing what we're doing. And the money and everything else comes, that's a result. This is why I get out of bed. This is why, and I haven't got time to tell you all about mine, but it's so rewarding when you can work out what your purpose is. And it drives me to do things like this and to help teams, because I love how I can make a difference in the world. So on purpose, 5 tips for you. Do this exercise, identify who are the people you serve and the impact that you make. Hold a discovery session with your team. Sit down and get everyone's input, get their buy-in and commitment. Ask the people that you serve, your customers or whoever it might be, internal customers, external, and make it front of mind every day. Stick it on the wall, reward people, and make it live and make it live and connect and share those stories frequently with people. Okay.